Mansfield today.
Right.
I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item is going to be the acceptance of the agenda. One thing we need to add under D, we're going to put it in as E, the lit paving contract that we opened up at the last meeting. We need to, down here under commissioners, I'm putting it right underneath the courthouse parking lot paving bid.
Okay.
So that bid for those road under, funded through the lit tax. Any other additions, modifications? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public comment. Charles Ballmeister, you're up first.
Good morning. I'm Charles Ballmaster with the Animal Welfare Control Board. I see on the agenda that you're going to be discussing that today, and I have a couple questions regarding it because there were some questions that came up, and I'm glad Andrew's here today. Maybe we can get this straightened out. As you know, we've been working on this for a couple of years. Becky was on the board at the time when we started this, and this had never came up in discussion, but apparently recently at a couple meetings it was brought up that if this ordinance is adopted, the board that is sitting would have to be reappointed. We never thought, we never discussed that. We thought that the board would stay intact and the two new ones would be added to it. But then I was hearing some stories that by law that you had to do, that you had to reappoint all members, and I was going to ask Andrew that question.
So you're saying in the draft ordinance, it's requiring that the whole board be reappointed?
No, somebody said that they thought that if you wrote a new ordinance, that a new board would have to be, or the people that are on there would have to go back and be reappointed. And my concern is we're dragging our feet, and this is going to take another couple of months to get everybody reappointed because of the way the meetings are staggered by the different entities. So I want to make sure that the 5 members that are serving now will stay on the board, and if the ordinance is passed, the 2 new ones will be added.
I think what we'd have to do then is just make sure that we put that in the ordinance. It says like the current as constituent, like we have to make it clear because otherwise.
Well, here we go again, then we'll have to re-advertise the kid.
We don't have.
It can be
Well, we can pass the ordinance as presented and amend it. I mean,
Do we have to turn around and
Doesn't introduce a new
republish? I mean, it costs us $1,300.
I don't think it would cost a new fee because you're not introducing a new fine. It's the same fine. You'd just be amending the.
Could that just go as an amendment after it's been passed
Yes.
and not have to be advertised?
It would have to be advertised because you're not introducing a new.
Right. If you were to reduce the board, I would say it would, but you're not reducing it, you're adding to it.
No, the only real time the biggest time you have to advertise is when you're introducing a fine or a fee that
Mhm.
people could be subject to. So they have to be notified that this is potential and that you're passing this. If you're just changing the composition of the board or allowing the current board to stay in its current fashion, that'd be an amendment that's not introducing a new fine because that fine's already there.
Mhm.
You're just more or less changing how things are governed, which I think would be fine.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, if the ordinance is passed today, could the amendment be made today and passed?
If,
I think that might be a little difficult.
Are we sure that's the way it's read in the ordinance?
I'm looking.
It doesn't say anything about the previous board members. This has been brought up at the council meeting, it was brought up the other night, about the membership, if they had to be reappointed
I
or
mean,
not.
is this not the same? I mean, you're not starting a completely new
No.
organization.
No,
You're just adding to it.
Right, so I don't really,
I don't see the
why
point.
you're dissolving an existing
Right.
organization only to reappoint and redo it the same. This is an ordinance that's dealing with animal control, not board
The ordinance that we took was kind of what had been drafted over time.
Right.
We just kind of been adding things. It talks about the board being established. So,
That was the original, when
Yes,
they established it.
mhm,
and the only thing we did to the board was to add 2 new members.
mhm.
But we wanted to make sure that we don't run into problems later on. Somebody comes up and says, well,
Yeah. I mean, I think if you were to be 100% certain, you might amend it or, potentially as you pass it, say that we're anticipating that this means that our intent with this ordinance was the continuing of the current board, adding the 2 members, just to give it some, legislative intent behind doing it. And if we wanted to follow up later with something in writing that just makes it correct or makes it more explicit. But in my mind, I don't think anybody's going to have an issue, or I think everybody on this board understood that it was basically the same board adding 2
that
members.
was our impression.
Yep. I'd say we go ahead and just pass the ordinance.
Well, we'll just make a caveat in the motion that our intention is that the current board continues to serve
With the 2 additional members.
with the 2 additional members, and to further codify this,
Correct.
we'll draft a document and pass it at our next meeting. I mean, then we have actually stated what our intent is
Mhm.
as we pass the ordinance.
Right.
We can clarify that if somebody wants to look it up, then once we get it, that way it'll give Andrew an opportunity to actually get it
Yeah.
correct.
That's fine.
So the
Thank you. I
one-
just wanted to
Still
bring that
T4,
up so we didn't
Yeah.
run into problems later. Thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next one is Jim Carter.
Okay, I'm here for, if you remember a month ago, I came to you and asked if there's a possibility that we could create a special type of fund, a restricted fund, to help a situation with basically a cat problem. And you suggested that I go back to the board and get an okay from the board about that. So the meeting we had, the last meeting, it was so, I brought that up and some of the people didn't have the information, so we tabled it for a month. Came back, and on Wednesday, they passed the concept after thinking about it unanimously. So what I'm asking for you now is to reconsider that special restricted fund specifically for the help of spay and neuter of the alley cats or the feral cats in Perry County, specifically where they're hotspots. So the situation is, let's go up to February next year. If we don't get some kind of additional help for the situation specifically in hotspots in Cannleton, also in Tell City, also in Troy, these feral cats are going to start multiplying in February. So we have to get some kind of something going to try to control that before the end of the year, or we're going to be unsuccessful, and then they're just going to keep multiplying. It's going to get worse. The Humane Society of Perry County, plus what the shelter can do, are the only 2 organizations that is paid out of pocket to help spay and neuter. The last time we had we paid for 77 Perry County residents to help spay and neuter through the state program. Problem is we just keep going backwards. There's more and more reproducing. So we need that fund, and we need it as soon as possible so that the Animal Control Board can use that. By the way, under that fund, the Animal Control Board would be the organization that would oversee how that is being spent through the supervision of the commissioners. So the main problem is, as usual, we're going farther and farther behind, and I'd love to see this thing done by the end of beginning of the last quarter, so that we can establish the fund. Now, by establishing that fund, the commissioners or the county, nobody has to put a penny in that fund, because I'm going out to try to get public funds from business and people to put into that fund. But we had to have a fund number in order for some of these people to put money into the fund. You got to start with something, and we need a restricted fund so I can go to these businesses and say, look, help us, because we're behind the eight ball, the cats are reproducing. So I'm asking again for you, all you have to do is establish the fund. She can give us a fund number, and then I can go out, even personally, if I have to try to get money to put in that fund.
Okay, let me go through this, because this is kind of when the county gets involved with it, we're gonna have to establish an ordinance. That's the only way we establish these funds. It has to be very specific as to who can use them and what for.
I understand.
And we have to go through the process of how the money is spent, the commissioner's appropriation through the council. So when we get into these things, it can be a little bit gnarly. Just be aware of that, and that's something we need Andrew to take a look
Yes.
at, exactly how that could be structured, because if county government gets involved with it, again, the county, I'm comfortable, is not going to take on any liability for any actions carried out by whomever is in control of that. Because as an example, if a cat is mistakenly, something happens, the county is not going to have an interest in participating in a lawsuit. So those are the things that have to have clarity brought as to how this all
Okay.
comes about.
And also they'll be subject to audits through the
Yeah.
SBOA.
Every,
I understand that, but here's the reason I'm saying this is because the Humane Society is running out of money. We're not going to be able to, if in the last 2 years, we've done over 200 cats. We paid for over 200 cats. If those 200 cats would have not been taken care of by the Humane Society, okay, those 200 cats would already be reproduced. We'd already been overflowing, okay? The time is of essence here for us to get something to go so that the I said through the Animal Control Board, they would control this money. They need a fund, they need money, and there's a restricted amount of money now for the counties.
Right.
So the problem is if we can get other entities to put into this fund, as opposed, individuals, businesses. So I need a number, and I understand that, and I know exactly what you're going through, but everything takes forever to get done. But we're running out of time, and I don't know if you've noticed, but on Sunday and Monday in the national news, the rabies is really raising. It's doubled in North Carolina, the rabies problem. If we get rabies here in this county on the cats, you're going to have a wholesale problem of the public saying, okay, no, what are you going to do? You know what they're going to do. And you don't want that. So we've got to.
I mean, I don't think anybody's questioning the need. It's the structure. And Andrew, I mean, how do we, currently we contract with the animal shelter.
Mhm.
They're
And
not
I
a
don't want
county
to take
entity.
away from the animal shelter.
So,
I mean, here's my take on it. I like 100% you're doing a great job and 100% for the animals. I'm not saying, but I think it's more of a personal thing. I don't think the county should create any extra funds, set up anything to tie up our business into a personal agenda. It's really hard to draw the line. And where do you draw that line at then? Of we send up one fund for you and then somebody else wants our help setting up another fund, and then we're just tying in more work and more audits.
Yeah.
I just think we
that's,
need to keep it your personal agenda on that and set up your own accounts and
Can you not set up a fund through the
We are.
Humane Society?
The Humane Society is only got about 1.5 years of revenue enough to do this. We won't be able to do anything because we won't have the wherewithal or the people we've lost for most of our membership.
But what I'm saying though is, can you not set up a fund through the Humane Society?
I don't want any entities, because we need county, and we need not just public, we need not just individuals or businesses, but we do need county money, and we need the city, all of them cooperating. So that's,
I know you said Canton, Troy, and Tell City. Have you been to them?
I've been to Camden many times, and I've been to Troy. I have not been to Tell City because Charlie is the representative, then he would represent he would discuss that with Tell City. But they already know the problems. So all you have to do is talk to individuals. What I'm trying to say, the public is going to come to you because I have to go, if I have to do this, then I have to go public. Then I have to go to the media. You're not going to like that. You're not going to like the fact that what I'm trying to tell you is we need a fund, a restricted fund to do this. And we're not going to be able to do it, and Humane Society may not be in existence. So if we're not in existence, no matter what you do, it's not going to help anyway. And we're running out of time.
You know, we've got so many funds through the auditor's office right now. And another fund for this is just more work on the auditor's office.
And how is this board set up currently that Charlie's?
He's the Tell City representative.
Yeah, but I mean, as that group, I mean, can they not take some type of initiative or something to?
Responsibility.
You know,
Well-
the thing of it is, you're still going, county funds are tight. I'm gonna be real honest
Well,
about
if you'll
that.
see,
But I mean, we're sitting here right now and the premise is that the Humane Society couldn't collect it under their name. But if we had it in the county's name, then a lot more money would come in outside of any county funds. I'm not sure that spurs people to donate more. Maybe it does, but if there's opportunity through the existing group.
Well, if you look and you'll see it there, there's the fund that's already in existence for the animal control does not specifically have to come from the county. That's what I'm saying. It's already built into that. But I want it restricted because all the funds that we get for the animals ends December 31st. And if there's anything left, it goes back into the general fund. I don't want that fund to disappear. We need it because we got a problem with it.
That's with all, anybody that is
In other words,
getting money from the
budget,
county, it goes back into the general fund at the end of the year.
It's other commissioners.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it goes and it reverts back to general.
But if you look real quick where you can get other funds, correct? Right there.
Well, I was looking at the ordinance, and the board can accept, use, and expend funds or other resources from sources other than the state if the resources are awarded pursuant to a specific objective that the board is authorized to accomplish under this ordinance,
Exactly.
et cetera. So
It's
to
exactly.
me,
what
it's
it
not
says.
as much as setting up a fund. I think you'd have to talk to the council about whether they're willing to put money into, the animal control budget towards that objective.
Yeah. Yes, but not just the county, but any entity, but they need a number for that.
I don't understand why if I was an individual who had $100 I wanted to donate, why does that have to go into a county fund and not into an animal control or a humane society? Like what's the advantage of putting money into our account versus?
Because what I'm trying to say is that we could use that fund. I agree with that. The fund that already says it's there for restricted purposes, for specific.
But you could still use the fund if it was a humane society. So if I gave $100 to Humane Society for spay and neutering, why couldn't you use those funds?
Because the fact is, we've already got a limited amount of funds and we're dying. I'm trying to tell you, we're not going to exist in 2 years. So why are we trying to fight for an organization that's dying? You've got to have something that's for the future. And we're not going to get that unless somebody realizes we got a major problem that's getting worse and it's going to get way worse in February. So, and it specifically states in there, as it says, those funds have to be used for a specific purpose, but you can do that through the Animal Control Board, as long as the commissioners who supervise that agree to that. Do you see any problem with that?
So again, I think the question is the structure. I mean, they can always set up a restricted fund. They set restricted funds up for whatever
Yes, that's
restricted
exactly what I'm
purpose
saying.
they want. But it comes back to who's administering the funds, who's pulling the funds out, how are they being used, what entity is responsible for the receipts and everything that the auditor has to make sure that, is following that part of it. So I think that is the question, is how is this being implemented once the fund's created? They can make a restricted fund, but
And Charlie made a good point. He said you've got to have a structure
Right.
for the
And
fund.
that-
You made a
that's
very
the
good
only
point.
reason I voted for it, with the understanding that there would be a structure in
We've been discussing this.
for any money to spend.
Right, but you know what we get into every time we
Yep.
get an audit, every time, we get a ghost employment because they're drawing a check from somewhere else, but working on another issue outside of it. I mean, it is a,
Nightmare.
yes.
Okay,
And when we bring these things into play, are we making it more difficult? Your intent, the end goal, positive? But are we making it so difficult through all the steps that government has to take?
And where do we draw the line? So do we have every citizen coming in and asking for a fund because they want to raise money for their personal agenda?
On a restricted fund.
We'd have funds
well, this
everywhere.
is what I'm saying again. It would be under the control of the Animal Control Board, under the supervision of the commissioners. So we looked at this before, and that specifically states, right, that the funds can come from other sources as long as it's specifically used. So why they couldn't create it directly to the Animal Control Board if you don't want to make a restricted fund? My problem is the money at the end of the year, where does that money go? Does it go back into the general fund? That was
it
my.
depends on what kind of fund it is, correct? Chris, if it's a reverting,
Some revert, some don't.
Well,
Currently, right now, the $5,000 that's budgeted for Animal Welfare Board, not Animal Control Board, Animal Welfare Board is $5,000. So if you only spend $4,500, then $500 of that stays in the cash balance
Right.
of the general fund.
And
And that's under control of the commissioners.
right, and that's the reason I'm saying is that we have to go to ask again to the commissioners for the $5,000 when all at once we got a major problem and that money's gone because it goes back to the general fund. So my argument is that all the funds, what little funds we get should not be, should stay. But
That's the way
can't.
everything is in the general fund.
Yes.
That's the way everything
So
is.
you
in
see
the
where my
general
problem is. I'm sure you understand where I'm coming from. That's right. Does any-
I don't think we're gonna solve this right
Well,
now.
I
If we could get some ideas, Andrew, if you could look, you guys think about where we are, and then if you've got any additional ideas, provide us whatever.
Well, I think the
document-wise.
Animal Control Board is trying to review this.
Yeah. And
Because-
if they come up with some ideas or whatever, share them with us so we have something to kind of
That's my only
ponder.
concern is I do not want to hurt the animal shelter
Right.
with any kind of funds or
Actually,
anything else.
in that, it would be specified, since the Animal Control Board is taking care of that, then money could go to the shelter. Within that fund, could go to the shelter. And that's what I already explained to the shelter, but
You
they
can
didn't.
already do that right now.
Yes,
So whatever you don't spend of the 5,000, there's that.
yes.
We've done that before.
Yes,
Yes.
well, what I'm saying is that would be up to the board. I understand. So anyway, I'm just trying to tell you that we are getting ready to get behind the 8 ball worse, and it's gonna get worse, and then the public's gonna get involved here because they're starting to, since I'm the county representative, I hear from the county people, okay? And I go to Camden City and say, you got this problem, and they don't know what to do. They're
Well, I think that you solicit donations and specifically state it's for the cat issue. And I'd put that out now, because you can always do that through either the Humane Society or in conjunction with the other group. And I mean, you could probably have a program within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, and have plenty of work. So I wouldn't wait necessarily for us to take some kind of action.
Oh,
I
we're
say get
not.
on it now.
The Humane Society, like I said, the Humane Society is funding all of these things, all of those things, and it still is. But I want, like I said, my problem is that I don't think we're gonna exist in 2 years. If I knew we were gonna exist forever and we had young people coming in, I would have no problem saying what you're doing. But you have a problem right now with any organization trying to get enough people to do anything. So you see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks, Jim.
Any other questions?
Next item we have is Tara.
Hi,
good morning.
I am here to ask, so on October 2nd, which is a Thursday, from 10 to 1, the Health Department is co-hosting a resource fair with Lincoln Hills. They hosted primarily themselves last year. We would like to co-host with them this year to hopefully get a better turnout and bring some of our people to the table as well. So I just need permission to have some food trucks at the Armory location. The cost is covered by Lincoln Hills. It has nothing to do with county funds or any of my funds. It's just, can I have your permission to have them on site there? Anytime we've done this in the past for any of our events where people have donated or paid for time for a food truck, I've always come and asked if that's okay.
Was Kevin the veteran?
Totally different. Yeah, that's the Veterans Stand Down event, which is in 2 weeks, I believe. It's on a Thursday in
Okay,
September.
because he was talking about having something in conjunction with.
Yeah, we're partnering with that too. Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
one's
this-
just totally different. Yeah.
I don't,
Comments? I mean, he just,
I approve it.
I'd entertain a motion to approve the resource fair.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Next item up, approval of the minutes from 8/19/2025. Any changes, modifications?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is payroll for 8/29/2025 in the amount of $191,405.70.
I make a motion.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is the payroll withholding for 8/29/2025 in the amount of $43,492.11.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Healthcare claims in the amount of $93,791.10.
I make a motion.
I second that.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Dental claims in the amount of $188.62.
Make a motion.
I second that.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Vision claims in the amount of $191.79.
I make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Life insurance claims in the amount of $1,624.42.
I make a motion.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste claims for 09, September the 2nd, 2025, in the amount of $2,632.72.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Accounts payable claims in the amount of, for 09/02, 2025, in the amount of $127,721.05.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Solid waste appropriation, this is just to allow them to utilize tipping fees and ticket sales in their budget. So this is just simply, the council did not include that in the budget last year, so they need the ability to do that.
To be able to do
To
that.
be able to use them, they have to be appropriated.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Capital Projects Fund for the courthouse parking lot paving. We're getting ready to consider that later in the meeting, and we need to get an appropriation. The fund is there. We've had it earmarked to pave the entire parking lot after the prosecutor's office was completed. And this is just the first step in getting the funds set aside.
And that's the capital projects fund.
Yep.
Correct.
4,800 account.
Yeah. I make a motion.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
General fund additional appropriations for publication. Is this directly related to,
Weird. So with the expense of the ordinance.
Right, $1,300.
$1,300. The animal control board paid half of it, but we're paying the other half because it had to be advertised twice. Just to pay that bill, we need $557.62, which will just bring us to zero. So I'm asking for an additional appropriation of $1,000, which will give us a little under $500 to get us through the rest of the year with any publications that we have. Publications are not cheap.
And we don't have an
We
option.
don't have a choice. Yeah.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next item up is the animal control ordinance. Any comments?
No.
Then I'd entertain a motion to accept this ordinance as presented with the intent to continue with the current board, which we will create an amendment that,
It's a current 5-member board.
yes, that it will be expanded to two additional,
Right.
and we will create a amendment to this agreement that codifies the intent to continue with the board.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Andrew, then can you
Yep.
draw some simple document up that
Amends it, yeah.
basically states that? Next item up is the GIS mapping access for Ann Island. I think that's something they've done in the past, and it's just necessary to approve to let them continue to use our GIS system.
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those are in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next item up is RES invoice and affidavit. This again is an ongoing multi-year contract, controlling the weeds and the erosion control
Oh,
on
that's
the,
Wapaka.
yes, the site west of the foundry.
What is it? This here 98.6? Is what it is?
Oh, no, that's lips.
No, it's, no, I had it. So, no, right here.
Yeah, it's around 10,000. It's a contract that was signed.
10,300.
I make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Courthouse parking lot paving bid. We received 3, and the lowest bid was from Libs Paving. They are new to doing work for the county, and we reviewed some of their work and met with their engineer, and we went over the site. He rest assured that he will do an excellent job. And with that said, he is the lowest bidder.
And he said he would come back if there's any.
Problems, he's gonna make
Problems with it.
make it right with us, so.
The only thing, it could be 7 to 8 days.
7, that's what he did say. He told us,
But he's going to do half of it one day. And
he's gonna try to break it up in segments half, so he's not so disruptive. They'll be grinding some of that to try to level it. They'll be then wedging it, and then they'll be paving it, and then they'll be striping it, and then they'll go over to the other side and do something similar. So it'll be just a little uncomfortable for
It won't be
period of
this year
time.
yet.
but it's going to be nice.
But
when they
then
get done.
we'll have it back in a much better
I
condition.
think he said he had a crew of 7 or 9 that's going to be here, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't remember.
So it'll get done a lot quicker.
That's kind of the way they're approaching it.
Yeah.
It's nice because most other people would not stripe half of the lot and then come back and stripe the other half. So,
Mhm.
so as planned, we hope it works out flawlessly. And the amount of their bid was $98,600. So with that said, I'd entertain a motion to approve that bid.
I make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Next item up, we accepted bids last meeting. We received 2 of them, and I don't know that I got that number here. But the lowest bid was E&B Paving,
That's the contract. I gave all those to Steve. He's got them right there.
300 and, what was that amount, Steve?
looking at E&B, right?
They were the low bidder.
What was this for?
They're paving, that's the lit paving.
Yeah,
We've
the
got
bid.
several places in county roads that
Yeah,
need to have their basically big patches. And
they're all over, aren't they, Steve?
yeah, this is just the start. The bid from them was $363,727.50. And if we get it approved, I think within the next month.
It looked like it might possibly be able to start right away.
And who is this from?
E&B,
E&B?
it's just numerous roads out in the
Yes.
county that's just got
Mm-hmm.
defective payment. Kind of clean that up. I'd entertain a motion to approve the E&B bid.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And with that, that's the conclusion of our agenda. Our next meeting is Tuesday, September the 20th, 2025 at 6 PM. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Tag on that where they need to sign.